Hello there, welcome to the Condor Trail YouTube video series. In this episode, we'll be crossing from Ventura County up through Santa Barbara County and stopping at the San Luis Obispo County line. Let's get started. So, where we last left off, we had hiked up from Lake Piru in the south, crossed over the Sespe Wilderness, and dropped down off of Pine Mountain to Highway 33 at either Ozana or at the Pine Mountain summit. We'll be entering now the Santa Barbara County portion of the Condor Trail. The two primary wildernesses within Santa Barbara County are Dick Smith Wilderness and the San Rafael Wilderness. This here in the middle is the Dick Smith Wilderness post Zacca fire. That sign was at the Alomar Saddle. This is another fly through I'll show you guys. Google Earth fly through. Here we are on Pine Mountain. This one's a little faster than the last one, crossing over 33. You'll see that there are three trails, three routes that we've highlighted here. One here, and one here on the left. This is all within the Dick Smith Wilderness. I'll go into why we have three trails a little bit later on. Here's Medulce Peak, Medulce Camp, dropping here into Alomar, up Alomar Canyon, over Alomar Saddle into the San Rafael Wilderness and the Sisquoc River drainage. And we're flying downstream along the Sisquoc. See a little bit here on your left of Naira. We've got South Fork Station, Hurricane Deck coming up here. Sierra Madres on the right hand side. And now we're within the lower Sisquoc portion. This red line here is the La Brea fire from August 2009. The Condor Trail does take a hard right here, leaving the Sisquoc, heading upstream along Horse Canyon and heading into the La Brea burn zone. This is Sierra Madre Road, a couple trail access points to get down to this portion of the San Rafael Wilderness. Now we're leaving the San Rafael Wilderness at this point and jumping onto Carey Canyon, the Indians Trail, and eventually connecting in with this series of trails called the Willow Springs Trail. And this is Highway 166 cutting here, and San Luis Obispo County is on this side of 166, and Santa Barbara is on the southeast side. So the first portion of trail that we're going to talk about is getting from Pine Mountain out to Medulce into the Dick Smith Wilderness. We've kind of located three different routes to get from Pine Mountain, which is here, across the first part of the Dick Smith to Medulce. The first route would be from Haddock Camp, climbing up Haddock Peak to Pine Mountain, and then from there, instead of going down the Boulder Creek Trail, you would continue out this paved road here, the Pine Mountain Road, to the Pine Mountain Saddle, and then you cross Highway 33 there at the high point, and then get onto the Potrero Seco Road, which is a closed, it's semi-public. You can get permits to go onto the road, but very few people drive it per day. But it is a dirt road that goes for a few miles out past Potrero Seco Camp, and then connects in with the very seldom used road that takes you down to Don Victor. The road is drivable from Potrero Seco down into Don Victor, but I would guess that it gets less than 2 cars per year driving down it. Eventually you'll get down into Don Victor, and then jump in with the Don Victor Trail up, and then connecting into Medulce. Nice thing about this trail is it's pretty direct. Other than the Don Victor stretch, it's in good shape and shouldn't be too much trouble. It's estimated 23 miles from Haddock out to Medulce. The problem is that I'm sorry, that's from Boulder Creek to Medulce. The problem is that this section here along the road is about 20 miles, so you have about 20 miles of road walking, and that 20 miles is from the Reyes Creek trailhead. The problem with that too is that most of this is not giving you access to any water, so we'll be asking people to hike about 20 miles without any water. The next route that we've located is dropping down Boulder Creek. From there you'll cross at Ozana Station, over Highway 33 into the Bear Canyon area, up Bear Canyon, over into Deal, and that's the official cross into the Dick Smith Wilderness. Then down Deal Canyon, This is all beautiful, recently worked trail. And then from there, this is kind of the next junction. The next route would go up Rancho Nuevo, past Upper Rancho Nuevo camp, and then kind of go off trail up through this pink area, up Rancho Nuevo, and then jump over a saddle and drop into um, Upper Don Victor, and from there jump on up to Medulce camp. This is the most direct route. It's the least amount of miles, 22 miles. The problem is, while there is trail going to Upper Rancho Nuevo and there's scattered tread for a couple miles up above Rancho Nuevo, there really isn't a trail up in this stretch here and then jumping over to Don Victor. This is an official Forest Service trail, and it's not tough travel. A lot of the area up there is pine trees and sort of higher sage grasslands. It's really pretty. I think Rancho Nuevo is one of the hidden gems of the Santa Barbara and Ventura backcountry. It's very pretty, but it would require sending people out along a route that doesn't have an official trail. Some of the other through hiking trails across the country are more of routes. They don't actually send you on trail with tread. One particular trail I know that you get to this one valley, and the instructions for the trail say, look across the valley, you'll see a mountain, head for that mountain. So this isn't too extreme compared to some other trails, but it would involve sending people up a route that doesn't have an official trail. It's only about 6 miles or so from Upper Rancho Nuevo up over to Don Victor, and it's really pretty, all within the wilderness, no road walking. The other route, which is the longest route, significantly longer, 40 miles, almost twice as long as the Rancho Nuevo route, would take you from the Deal Junction here down Rancho Nuevo Trail to the Rancho Nuevo Trailhead. From there, you'd hike a few miles. I think it's 3 miles down to this road, up the Tinta Road to the Tinta Trailhead. From there, jump on the Tinta Trail, up the Tinta, over to eventually the Dry Canyon Trail. This is Cuyama Peak here, and then Dry Canyon Road, and then you're on road for about 5 miles or so down to Santa Barbara Canyon Road, and then a mile of Santa Barbara Canyon Road. Then you're on the Santa Barbara Canyon Trail, up Santa Barbara Canyon to Medulce. On this route, all the trails are in good shape, but the problem is it's quite a bit further than the other trails. And in addition, you still have about 10 miles of road walking to do, but the trails are in good shape, and there should be water most of the year along this stretch of trail. So it's almost like pick your poison. How are you going to get from Pine Mountain out to Medulce? And it could be something that eventually what we do is just give the hiker, the backpacker, 3 different options of how they want to get through there. And then once you get to Medulce, here again you can see all the 3 different options coming through. Don Victor here is notorious for being a poor trail. We have flagged it in the past few months. It should be followable by following the flags, but again, don't expect much trail through Don Victor up to Medulce. Dropping down the Portezuelo, the trail is followable, but there's quite a few trees down along this stretch, and you will be following a lot of flags as you drop down and eventually connecting with Alomar. This trail is followable through here, and then eventually it's a little scattered in this section, but there has been some trail work and some flagging. And you eventually make your way into the Upper Alomar Canyon to Alomar Saddle, and then drop your way into the San Rafael Wilderness. A few trail signs and pictures along the way. This is the saddle that divides Don Victor from Medulce. We're looking down into the Upper Don Victor here. Pine Mountain is in the distance here. This is Potrero Seco Road looking the opposite direction down into Don Victor and Medulce right here. A picture of Don Victor Valley. And then here's a pre-Zaca fire picture of Don Victor Valley. You can see here it's kind of sagey, high country. It's not so much chaparral, it's more kind of woody sage lands. This is a slide of pictures from the Rancho Nuevo. This is sort of lower Rancho Nuevo. It's been described to me as a kind of poor man's version of Zion for a few miles. It's really pretty in there, some good water. This is a picture of the saddle that divides Don Victor from Rancho Nuevo, looking down. This is Pine Mountain in the distance. This is pretty close after the Zaca fire. Here is Upper Rancho Nuevo, the flats, the camp's right down in here, and an exploration trip that was done up past Upper Rancho Nuevo a few years ago. This is sort of the landscape that you should expect to see up there. It's really pretty. And then this slide is for the Alomar and Portezuelo. This is looking up Portezuelo, coming down from Medulce towards Alomar. Pre-Zaka fire, Alomar was in horrible shape. Here's a picture of a poor woman bushwhacking her way through along Alomar, actually crawling. It's quite a bit better than that now. Dropping down Alomar with Medulce Peak in the distance, and then this is similar, dropping down Alomar Trail from Alomar Saddle. Once you cross over Alomar Saddle, you get into the Upper Sisquoc. This trail is in pretty good shape. There's a few sections in here that are a little iffy. Up above Heath Camp, here's Judell Canyon coming in, and then you're looking at the Sespe Condor Sanctuary, Fall Canyon, Rattlesnake Falls. As you drop down past Cottonwood and Skunk Camp, the trail gets significantly better. Actually, it gets quite a bit better once you cross the Judell and Heath Camp, and then you drop your way down eventually to South Fork. A few pictures along the way. This is a picture a friend of mine took named Matt Kettman of a bear at Bear Meadow. This is Bear Meadow pre-Zaka fire. Rattlesnake Falls there on the left-hand side. Friend hiking on the Upper Sisquoc. These are some goats that a gentleman named Mike Smith, who does a lot of trail work in that area, he brings in his goats for some pack support. And this is South Fork Station, and then a pool along the way. Once you cross South Fork, you get into the area called the Lower Sisquoc, dropping in down here through all these camps with Hurricane Deck on your left. A lot of people do a loop trip from Naira called the Lower Sisquoc Loop, where they loop up Manzana over to South Fork, down the Sisquoc to Manzana Schoolhouse, and then back up the Manzana, or vice versa the other way. A few pictures along the way. There's a healthy beaver population down in the Lower Sisquoc. This is a trail pictured in January, another one taken in the spring, and some campsites down along the way. Manzana Schoolhouse, some bear activity, and then this is the Sisquoc looking upstream from about Water Canyon, a little bit below Water Canyon. After you leave the Manzana, you will drop down a couple miles and then take a hard right north up into the La Brea burn zone. This area burned in August of 2009. And the trails before the burn hadn't been maintained in 40 or 50 years. So we have sort of a clean slate out here now. You should expect to see some flagging along the way, but mostly you're walking through burned areas with some burned yuccas, burned trees, things of that nature. It's quite a bit different in this portion of the San Rafael than other portions. Up in here, there's a lot of grassy oak woodlands with canyons in between. And the trail... This spring 2011, we will be working the trail from Windham Gap here out to Carey Canyon and then up to Pine Flat. Once you pass Pine Flat, this is a fairly good trail down to Brookshire, and then when you get on the Willow Creek portion, the Willow Spring portion of the trail, send us an email at info@condortrail.org if you plan on doing this, so we can talk you through it a little bit more. But there are some private property issues there and some ranch roads and things of that nature. Pictures along the way. This is the confluence of Horse Gulch and the Sisquoc. This is kind of the far western portion of Hurricane Deck here. Camp along Horse Gulch. There's some old ruins kind of near the Horse Gulch Sisquoc confluence. And this was taken in January 2010, the first year after the La Brea fire. Looking down, this is the trail heading down towards Hiawatha, between Roque and Hiawatha. So you can see it's passable. There are some snags along the way. It's just a matter of right now keeping this open while we can before things grow back. Another picture, this is kind of the oaky, grassy woodlands area that I was describing. This is pre-La Brea fire. A friend had taken a picture of a cut, which was a indication that man had been there. That was pretty exciting. And then this is a picture of looking up Roque Canyon with the Sierra Madre pre-La Brea fire. Thank you very much. We haven't done a San Luis Obispo portion yet, but stay tuned, and we hope to have one soon within the next few months. Thank you very much.